cooking and creating. It's just that's all it is. Art, cooking, arts and crafts, building. One of my favorite things to do, brother, is to put that channel on in the evenings and just listen to the people. And it's about exploring because it's like Rick Steves, Marcy Brown, and stuff that you would like, brother, because they explore different countries and they don't just go to the landmark spots. They hit specific spots and tell the story of the culture. They delve when you leave when that show is over with, you know where that story, where that country started, the principal people in it. That's one of the things. On Sunday evenings, that's what I do. And then when that goes off, it's a couple of travel shows. When that goes off, there's cooking shows. I tell you, I'm a cooker.
Yeah.
And man, one of the most relaxing things you can do is watch other people teach you how to cook.
You
And
know what
that's
else is
one
a
of my
good thing?
favorites.
You know what else is a good thing? Do it while you sleep. Play it while you sleep because it's feeding your subconscious.
You
You
know
understand
what?
what I'm saying? It's because you know how you have on the channel and something you hear it in your sleep and you're really out of it, but you can hear that and you can remember that in your
Hmm.
sleep to the point it gets inside of your spirit. If you do the same thing with those positive things like affirmations, I listen to a lot of affirmations when I go to bed at night. I listen to a lot of things that's going to feed my spirit, my inner man. So that way, in my subconscious mind, it's already there. So then you'll start doing it second nature.
I like that because true story on this one. I would fall asleep prior to my wife, and she would be watching them fucking, excuse my language, housewives. I
Right.
can't stand them goddamn shows. I'm sorry. I can't. Love my wife, but she likes that. And I would be asleep and I would hear, and I'd get up in the morning and I'd be like, who the fuck was fussing? Sound like a bunch of scratching cats. And
Right.
but you're right. You're asleep and you're sitting there listening to this, and then it gets in you that
Right.
turmoil and that angst. And I said, okay, yeah, enough of that. That's why I start. One of the reasons I started putting on my beach sounds. First, let me just kind of backstep a little bit. I started doing the beach sounds when my blood pressure would get high, without because I was going sometimes where I would try not to take my medicine, and I would use the beach sounds and I would sit myself down for 30 minutes at a time and put the beach sounds on. And you would be surprised when you unclutter your mind, clear your conscience, and listen to those soothing sounds and just lay still. Man, I went one time, my blood pressure was like 220 over 160.
Ooh.
I hadn't taken my medicine, mind you. So it was, and I was doing other stuff. I was stressed out. I went and got the beach sounds and I laid down, and it took me a whole hour. I had a banging headache. I laid down for a whole hour listening to that and actually dozed off with that in my ear. Took my medicine, and 15 minutes after taking my medicine, which I know it's not going to affect it that fast, I took my blood pressure. My blood pressure was already back down to 148,
Mm.
I think over like 90, relatively low. Within 2 hours, man, I was within optimal range. But it just shows you when your mind is cluttered and high stressed, your body is. And when your body's high stress, it impacts you negatively physically.
Right.
And you're right, brother. Sometimes you just have to declutter your mind.
Right.
Decluttering your mind is a step that will give you a clarity in your thought process and put you back on the right path. Because so many of us, like you said, TV's on, you got the internet on your computer, your phone, all this other crap. Sometimes you just
Social
have to
media.
unplug. That's what I did yesterday, Hotel. I just unplugged. I
Man,
don't
You
want
got
to.
to.
you have to, man. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is a different part of the show. I want to
Mm,
give y'all the bonus. It's the bonus part of the show that y'all don't always get to hear that the real men talk about. So right now we're talking about just mindset and just decompressing. And we're talking about some of the techniques that we use to decompress.
yes,
A lot of
yes.
men and a lot of women don't decompress. And we started off talking about meditating. I meditated for the first time for like 15 minutes, man. Actually, the goal was 5 minutes, but I superseded that goal. But it brought me more in touch with myself, as well as able to change my mindset. So a lot of things when we're talking about trying to achieve wealth, trying to achieve job satisfaction, a lot of these things goes back to mindset and just changing your circle, man, as well as just
Mhm.
changing your thoughts. There's so much to it, man. It's bigger than just trying to Say if your goal is to make $40,000, you can make $40,000 in a month. But if your mindset is not right, you ain't gonna make it. There's so many things to this, man. So if you're really trying to be successful and trying to just break those barriers, man, that's what the real man talks about, and that's what the real man coaching is about. Certain things, man, you need help, man. Even with me, I've got coaches that still helping me.
Yes, sir.
As I tell you, Oprah Winfrey, Steve Harvey, they got all types of coaches. Everything is not meant to be done by yourself, people, okay? Stop trying to.
Because you don't know it all.
Right.
You don't know it all. There's such thing as delegation. You got to delegate those things that you don't know about. Just like all the billionaires didn't even graduate from high school. Look how they delegated their business to other people that knew what they needed to know in their field to help them become successful.
Not only that, perfect example, man. And we got to bring you back on the show. Matter of fact, we got Brother Wallace. I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
We got Brother Wallace here for the part 2 of the show, talking about how he found his family. But we're going to bring you back on the show. But I wanted to ask you, in regards to what we was talking about, because we was talking about mindset. But it was a particular question I had for you, man. Tell people, and we're going to bring you back on the show, but perfect example you was talking about. You're very disciplined, man. A lot of people don't realize how disciplined you are. Not only that, they don't realize your profession, but you're an avid traveler. You're an avid traveler. You've probably been at least 6 countries that I've known of, if not more. Tell us what make you so disciplined, and tell people what is your profession, and let them know how you are able to travel the world.
Because because it's just something that's for one. It's like I made it to the point. You have to have a sense of urgency about everything. You understand what I'm saying? When you have a sense of urgency about things, it makes it bigger. And how I did that is because I always knew I wanted to travel. I always knew the life that I wanted to lead. So I would make it my business. Like I go back to saying, doing things in purpose, on purpose. I would make it my business to purposely seek out where I want to go, to purposely cut back on those things that I know that's not important, to purposely put my priorities together, starting off with small term goals. Okay, let's go get the passport. Let's see how much the plane ticket costs. Let's see what we want to do when we get there. You know, making those goals and making those things achievable, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to disappoint yourself, and just going after it, not allowing anything or anybody to come in between you and your goals and your dreams. Sometimes you can't answer the phone. Sometimes you can't respond to an email. Sometimes you can't go out on that Friday night with the boys or whoever. You know what I'm saying? You have to have discipline, and you have to make sure that you're always consistent and always checking in with yourself, because you're either going to be your best friend or your worst enemy. With that said, you have no choice but to succeed if you stick by those guidelines. You know what I'm saying? Not allowing those distractions. Because your distractions become reactions. You understand what I'm saying?
Let me go back a little bit, and let me go back. Oh, Jesus. Brother, you about had me catch the Holy Ghost with something you just said. What'd you say about that? Don't answer that phone. Don't respond. Because sometimes your biggest distraction is the people that's supposed to be your biggest supporter.
Right.
Can I get you to talk about that? Just briefly. When you say don't answer that phone, woo.
Right. You have to sometimes when you don't answer, when you like I said, I can't allow anything to distract me. The things that are distractions, sometimes people aren't aware. Sometimes people aren't aware that they're distracting me. You know what I'm saying? They're being used by whatever force that they're doing. My thing is, the distractions that come to me, I don't want to answer my phone because I don't know what I might hear or what you might say to me. You know, when I'm going after what I'm going after, and when I'm already in pursuit of me, then I have to allow my mind to stay with me. I can't allow my mind to take off somewhere else that you're pulling me to, even though it may be important, but I have to make sure I stay within what I'm thinking about. And then once I come out of me, because you got to take care of you, it goes back to taking care of you first. When I have taken care of me, then I can be available to other people. You understand? Sometimes people call with their problems and their situations and things that's going on or stuff at the job. That stuff has nothing to do with my goals and my dreams. And I'm not trying to be selfish or anything like that, but I have to take care of me, because if I'm going to be help to you, then I got to be good for myself. So yeah, sometimes I don't answer the phone. Sometimes I don't respond to emails. And it's not to be rude or anything, but it's because I'm doing me. That's going to help everybody in the long run.
Oof. Brother, you have freed some minds right now. Because in the Black community, the premise of family, and I'm not downplaying the prevalence of family in one's life, but so many people are so just loyal to the family to a fault where it defines them and it messes them up and it distracts them from them goals that you are talking about. You are
Right.
so, man, brother, man. We're
Right.
gonna have this, look, brother. We're gonna move into the show that we're supposed to be talking about. But listen, my brother, Mr. Anderson, you are a bright light in this world, brother, and we are gonna have you on multiple times. I can just see it on different subjects. But we're gonna segue into what we're
I
supposed to be
appreciate
talking about. But man, it's brothers like you that always, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, it's brothers like you who make me feel good that first of all, that I'm a black man and that I have a black man in my circle like you.
Wow.
Just want you to know that, brother.
I
And the
appreciate that.
things that you talk about and what you say, I hope anybody out there listening right now can look at this young man right here and understand the impact he's having not only on his life, but those around him. And look at what he has and some of the characteristics he has. Take those on as your own in your own unique way and apply what he's doing in his life to your life and see how it affects you in a positive way. Man, brother, mind blowing. We're just gonna have
Not
to
my
have you
doing.
on more.
It's not my doing. It comes from a higher source than me, man. It
But
comes from a higher source than me. I'm just a vessel. You know what I'm saying? Based on my own things that I've been through in life, my own experiences. What I know and the things I've been through, you can't teach that in school. Life
right.
can only teach you that. Life,
But
mistakes, turmoil, confusion, everything that you're going through life taught me what I know today.
and what I will say to that, you're right. It's not you. It's you are the vessel. But do understand that the vessel has to be worthy for the knowledge to pass through.
Mm,
You have to be a good steward in order to have that blessing brought through you to give to others. So that speaks volumes about the man you are and the person you are. Because
thank you.
you can give a person a lesson, but if they don't know how to receive it and take it and run with it and provide it to others in a proper way, it's a mute point.
Right.
And
I
that's one of the
appreciate that.
things I love about you, brothers, because you are sitting here, you are telling, humble. You didn't say, yeah, I did this and I did that. First thing you said is, it's not me. It's a lesson. It's through me. I'm just a vessel. When you have that type of knowledge and you try to make it apparent to others what to do and how to do, it just shows that what has been given to you has been given to you because you are worthy of the task. So keep doing what you're doing, brother. Keep doing what you're doing. And God damn it, I'm gonna tell you, I'm proud of you. If nobody else
Thank
tell
you.
you today, I'm proud of you.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Always,
Appreciate it.
always. This is the shit that I'm talking about.
Yes,
Excuse my
yes, yes.
language right now. But y'all got me going and I'm loving it right now. This right here is what the real men talk is about. This is what we do and what we want to help people to become is get yourself to that next level, man.
Right.
Now, with all that
Now,
being said, we gonna shift and get back to what we're supposed to be
No, but
doing.
you're on point, Sean, and people need to know that this is part of the real man talk, especially when we travel, man. When we travel, man, if y'all ain't been on none of our trips, you got to meet us on our trips because we have deep conversations like this. And once again, when it's time to leave, we don't be wanting to go because it's just so much information and so much knowledge amongst each other, man. And once again, a lot of men don't get out and hang with each other. If so, they're not talking about stuff that we're talking about. We're talking about building
Amen.
wealth. We're talking about lineage. We're talking about wealth, and we also putting action in. So that's what it's about. So, Brother Wallace, we gotta have you back on, but let's get back into the conversation. Matter of fact, let's take a quick commercial break, man.
Yes, because we done put something out there for you.
So when we come back after commercial break, we're gonna talk to Brother Wallace about how he found his mother, and when he found his mother, the conversation, as well as how he was able to find his other brother and sisters.
Two sisters.
Two sisters, right?
Two sisters.
Two sisters. And 4 nephews.
4 nephews. Hey.
Stay tuned.
Welcome to Houston's Notary, the fastest and most efficient mobile notary service. Houston's Notary pride itself on following up with their customers and making them feel at ease. Houston's Notary has the finest notaries that provides many services such as loan closings, fingerprints, cash outs, affidavits, wills, trust, power of attorneys, employment verification, documents for immigration, and legal documents. Wow! So many services that all you have to do is call. Toll free 1-844-292-5562 or 713-956-6485 or visit houstonsnotary.com. Let us be your notary.
Many people are tired of typical pharmaceutical drugs that have major side effects and causes addictions. The federal government has legalized CBD in all 50 states. CBD binds to the CB pain receptors in your body. The Houston Health and Wellness Company offers many products that can help you immensely. The consumer favorite gummies are delicious edibles that you can take and attain immediate relief. The tincture is a CBD product in liquid form that you place under your tongue that also comes in a variety of flavors. For those aching joints and muscles, Houston CBD has a full-spectrum salve with various all-natural ingredients that will help provide relief. They even have CBD for dogs. Yes, CBD for dogs. Botana oil from Dr. Sebi's Usha Village. It's an all-natural oil from the Botana plant that has been known to help hair grow at a rapid rate. It can be used as a moisturizer for your skin. Best of all, it's all natural. They also have elderberry syrup for your immune system. Go to www.houstonscbd.com. That's
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Real Man Talk Show. I'm Coach Hightower here with my co-host, Sean Bam Bam Davis, and we got a special guest that's going to come back talking about how he found his mother, brother, and two sisters. Yes. Brother Wallace, what's up? What's up?
What's going on?
So, man, before the last show, oh my God, it was amazing. And then we started off this show talking about some mindset and some goal setting, and now we finally talking about the meat and potatoes of the show, which is when you finally heard your mother's voice. You heard your mother's voice in the background, and she was screaming because your sister had confirmed your date of birth. Right. What was the reaction, and how did you feel just hearing your mother's voice as well as you was talking to your sister, your biological sister?
Finally. That's all I kept saying. Like, I was just so grateful to the point I was questioning God, like, what did I do to deserve this? You know, not even the thought of, you know, because you hear so many horror stories about, I found my mom and she was on drugs, or I found this person and they rejected me, or my biological father didn't want anything to do with me. So just to hear the welcoming, not even to see her face, but just to hear the welcoming and the praise in her voice and the tears in my sister's voice. And the fact that it just confirmed my what I was feeling, that I need to find her, because she started looking for me in February of this year. She contacted the same people that I contacted at Indiana Vital Records, and she was looking for me just as well as I was looking for her. And just to hear her voice for the first time ever, it was just the most overwhelming feeling that I can ever imagine. Like one of the best times in my existence.
Wow. So what was the first words, or what was the conversation like when you and your mom initially spoke? Do you remember those words?
The first words that she repeated, I'm sorry.
Do you remember the first words that you and your mom exchanged? You remember that feeling, that moment?
I remember the feeling. She said she was thanking God, and she was just praising him. And then she got on the phone with me and she said, son. And I was like, oh my God. And she's like, I have been looking for you. I have been looking for you. She said, I feel like my life is so complete right now. She said, we were just at church Sunday, and she said the prophet that was there, who was ever there, was telling them that your miracle is coming this week. Mind you, this is Sunday, but this was Monday when I contacted her. She said they kept saying your miracle is coming this week. Spoke to her and say that your miracle is coming this week. And she said she just kept repeating that. And she said, here it was Monday, I'm calling her. She said she just couldn't, when my auntie, her sister, called her and say, I think your son has been looking for you. She said he contacted you, and he's like, she's like, is this true? And then she was like, she just was taken aback. She couldn't understand what was going on. So she was like, she just was taken aback. And it was just amazing just to hear her voice. Just amazing. Just amazing. We've been having so many conversations, explaining things to me. She just wanted to make sure that I wasn't angry at her. I told her I could never be angry at her. Like I said, she was just a child. She was 13 when she gave birth to me. And I was grateful for her. I thanked her for life. My first thing, I wanted to reassure her that I had a good life, because I know she's like, you don't understand. Because I had to look at it at her story. To be without my two sons for 40 some years. She said, do you know how hard that was for me to be just only, I got my two girls because she raised my two sisters. And she was like, you know how hard that was to, when they say, how many children you got? And I only have two accountable for. And to be without my sons, I didn't know if y'all were dead. I didn't know if y'all were alive, if y'all was healthy, if someone was hurting you guys. She didn't know none of that. And I kind of knew that. So my first thing that I wanted to reassure her that I had a good life. I had a good upbringing. My father, my mother, they were good people to me. They loved me. They raised me and took care of me. I was never abused. I never went through any type of violent situation. So I wanted to reassure her of that, to let her know that I thanked her. And it just went from there. And she said that just took this big burden off of her. And she was like, your brother just found me in November of 2021. And here you are, less than a year later, you find us. And I said, my brother, he's, she said, yeah. And then come to find out we're whole brothers. We share the same father.
Wow.
We share the same father. She had me at 13 and had him at 15. And she just was forced to give both of us up. She always loved us, always thought about us. But she had to, eventually go on with her life too and try to live the best that she could too, without us, because she didn't know if she was going to ever see us again. So it was always in her prayer that we would come back. And here we are, united with her again after all of these years. And to find out I have two sisters and I have 4 nephews. My mother and my sisters are living in Vegas, and my brother is living in Houston out there with you, Hightower.
Right. So
yeah,
tell me this, man. Tell me this, because I remember when you sent me the message, you said, man, I'm going home. Me and Sean, as a matter of fact, me and Sean had met up 2 weeks ago. And when we met up, you had told us you was going to Vegas.
Yes.
Like, I'm about to go surprise and see my mother, and my brother is going. How was that when you got to Vegas? Explain to us what happened once you landed, man, up until you met your mother, man.
Well, we have been talking for a week. Like I said, we on the phone even to this day since we've met October 4th. We talk every single night, and it's always good conversation, like just catching up on things, her likes, her dislikes, my likes, all those different kind of things, just learning each other, bonding with each other. And when my sister got on the phone, she said, bro, bro coming out here for the weekend, it's a big fight going on in Las Vegas. And, if you want to jump on a plane, come on, we can meet each other. This was less than a week after we already had spoke on the phone, after we found each other. So I get out there, my sister came and met me at the airport. We had our united, and, we were very excited to meet each other. We looking at each other, staring each other face like, oh my God, you look like me. And she's like, you look like me. And she said, you look at us. It was just weird. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I was like, I'd never experienced anything like this, to see people that look like me, and so she said, mom and bro don't know you're coming. So she said, we're going to knock on the door. And you're just going to come in. I'm going to open the door. You're going to come inside. So I was like, all right. So got to my mom's place, knocked on the door. I heard, she said, who is this? And when I walked in, she turned around and she looked, and her eyes just filled with tears. And she was so excited. And she held me for dear life. And I held on to her as if we never left. And she said, I love you. I love you. I've always loved you. And I'm so glad that you're back in my life. Because they took me directly from her. She never saw me. She never saw me. The only thing she knew about me that she had a boy and that he was born December 4th, 1973. On my auntie's birthday, which told her that you're going to have your baby on my birthday. And when my aunt Adrian, when they called and gave her the news, she was like, I found my brother. She said, when his birthday? She said, December 4th, 1973. She said, that's your brother. Because he was born on she said, he was born on my birthday. I was 18 years old when he was born. She said, I'd never forget that day. She said, that's your brother. And to speak to her and, sitting down, listening to all the stories about my grandfather, my grandmother, how they were as people, and my aunties and all my first cousins and family. And it's been overwhelming, but it's been really just a joyous occasion just to be united with all of my people. And it's been nothing but love. Me and my siblings sitting at the table, we going back and forth talking about who's the best cook, who's this, all the joyful banter that we were having. Like, we grew up together, you know what I'm saying? And it was just like, it was not forced. It wasn't rehearsed. It was just organic, the feelings that we have towards each other. And me and my brother meeting for the first time, it was just amazing.
So, Brother Wallace, do I have your permission to play this clip that you had sent me of you meeting your mother?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
As we play it, can you just explain to us the emotions or everything that you're going through during this moment?
I was nervous right there. That's my brother to the side. That's my mom.
That's your first time in 47 years seeing
47 years. She had not seen me at all. Wow. They took me from her when I was a baby. That was a long time coming right there. When I tell you she loved me so much, man, I couldn't ask for a better welcoming.
Wow.
And she just wanted to look at me, and I'm crying. She crying. We just.
Hell, I'm crying.
Wow.
And she was like, my two boys, and she wanted to look.
Oh man! Wow. Wow.
She said the most. That was the most feeling. She was like, to have all my children sitting at the table and y'all laughing and talking, and she said it just does. She said, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. She just kept thanking God, and she was like, my boys. They was arguing who wanted me to come home. Like, my sister wanted me to come home with her. And I'm like, my stuff is in her car. And my mom said, you don't want to come back home with me? And, I was like, I don't want to be, my brother's over there. And she said, well, I could sleep on the couch. And she said, it'll feel good to have both of my sons in under the same roof tonight. And she got up and made us breakfast the next morning. And she said, normally I go to church though, but I'm going to stay at home and cook breakfast for my boys today. And because he was there for Chicago, he was there for the fighting for a Chicago Bears game that they had in Las Vegas. Because he's a big Chicago Bears fan. And my sister I was like, my bags is in her car. And she was like, my mother was like, well, you can go get it. And that picture where you see right there, we was doing a little dance, just bonding. Because one of the songs we were watching, like mime, praise dancing. And one of the songs came on and I just grabbed her hand. We just started dancing. Yeah.
That's so beautiful, man. That is beautiful.
She was so happy.
I
She was doing that all day. She was just dancing and just praising God and thanking Him, and just she was. This was her mood the whole day. This was her mood.
She's got her boy with her.
Look,
That's
and
what she
yes.
needs. That she needed that, brother.
Amazing,
yes.
amazing,
Oh man,
amazing.
Man,
Wow.
y'all don't give me teary out on here. I already don't cry enough on these videos, man. Like,
listen,
man.
Brother Wallace, I'm sitting here now, glad we ain't on camera because I'm sitting here wiping my eyes. Not only am I crying because of what your experience is, but it makes me relive mine, and it's just so good, brothers.
I don't know your story.
Ooh,
you got to tell me that one day,
brother. I'll tell you about it.
Back, we did a story.
So
go to the channel.
Similar.
Okay.
I'm not going to take away from yours because we want this to be about you. But just so you know, I went on Ancestry in the same. I found who my father was after not knowing at 51 years old. Found out I have a full blood brother that is alive, kicking it. We're 8 months apart. And then he had siblings that are not his biological, but they all grew up together in the same household, and they've embraced me, and I've met my entire paternal side that I never knew existed at 51 years old, and I did it all in the year of 2021. For the first time in my life, I was able to see a picture of my grandfather, my grandmother on my paternal side, know my uncles. I'm talking to my father's older two brothers who are still alive, who have just, the whole family has just embraced me, brother.
Isn't that amazing?
It not only makes me cry because I feel good for you, but it makes me relive my own experience. So, and brothers out there, let me just say this as a side note. It is okay to show your emotions. You don't have to be a damn Indian store statue.
Oh, I cry. I ain't gonna lie, I cry.
I have learned. I have learned. I got a tear coming down my face right now. I'm telling you, man. Be okay with your emotions. It is okay to be emotional.
And you know what else? You know what else is exciting about this, man? Because we're learning so much about each other. She walked like me. We both drag our feet across the floor. Too lazy to pick our feet up. We both do that. Because I look at her, I was like, "Mom, you walk like me. You drag your feet." She's, "Oh yeah, I know I do. It's just a habit." I said, "I do the same thing." She loved Louisiana hot sauce like I do. No other hot sauce. She loved fish. She loved fish just like I love fish because she said she ate a lot of it when she was pregnant with me. We both have the same spirit, like kind, very humble, just overall, just nice. I'm not bragging about me, but I see a lot of her in me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a lot of similarities and things that we have. That DNA is real, man. It's just like, it's crazy. Like, I'd never even seen this lady before, never even met her. And to meet her for this time and like, now I see where you got my nose, you got my cheeks, you got this, it's just amazing to be able to live like that and to see that. You know what I'm saying? To see how it is that you're connected. So and how much alike we are. Brother, you know, she eat her fries, like even when we eat like French fries or whatever, she eat her fries in sequence just like I do. She gotta eat that first before you eat anything else on the plate. I said, "You do that?" Even my sister was like, "Tell me you're not your mama's child." I said, "Well," she said, "You really eat like that?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Mama." She said, "Yeah, I eat like that too, son." I was like, wow. And just hearing all the amazing stories, and it's just great, man. You know, I want to do a lot of bonding with my brother. My brother does real estate. He's a retired Navy vet. He's living out in Houston. He's also going to school studying to be an ordained minister. My mom, she retired from being a phlebotomist. My sister works in clinical therapist, and I have another sister that works in transitional housing. So I have 4 amazing nephews. One of my nephews, Jeremiah, he's 20. My other nephew, Sam, he's 15. I got another nephew named George, he's 10. And then my youngest nephew, Harrison, he's 1. And it's just amazing.
Brother, you said something earlier that I can so relate to. You said it was overwhelming when you met and you're learning everybody. It's overwhelming, but it's so comfortable.
Right. It's definitely a comfortable overwhelmness.
Right.
Definitely.
And that picture that my brother had up, my brother from another mother, That is my brother Maurice. Now let me tell you just a quick rundown. We're 8 months apart.
Okay.
Our father both, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but we both have the same middle name. Our father's first name is our middle name. I met him for the first time over the phone, like you. First time I went down there, I met other parts of the family, but I met him as well. Then we went back 2 weeks later. This is my brother getting married. We went back for his wedding in Maryland. And to and what you said, the mannerisms, the way we think, the way we act, the way we talk, the way we move. We're brothers, 8 months apart, 50 and 51 years old, and we are damn near twins as far as some of the
Mhm.
mannerisms and things we do. And if he's a now, I'm a little pandemic weight right now. So if we was the same size, we would be twins pretty much. But
Wow.
so yeah, that's my brother. But so when it makes me feel good when I say I'm shedding a tear, it's of the joy that you have experienced meeting your mother and your family. But it also makes me reminisce about the first time I met my family. So it is a good feeling. Good feeling.
All from spitting in a little tube and
In
sending
a
it off.
man,
And you have because I was in awe for so, and sometimes I still am, because sometimes you walk around with this blank stare on your face, like, what just happened? Like you because it's like I'm 47, and it's like all these years, and me and my brother, we grew up in the same city, not too far from each other. Same city, same mother, same father. Didn't even know each other existed until 3 weeks ago. And it's like, this is crazy. And it's like, we already planning trips together because sadly, our father is deceased. He passed away in 2007 at the age of 52. We are aware where his burial plot is at. He's buried in Minnesota. My mother said he was devastated when she had to give us up. Said he really wanted us. And she was like, he never really got over that. Me and my brother had talked about it, and we said we definitely gonna make some plans to go up to Minnesota to visit his final resting place, just to pay homage
yeah.
to this man who was responsible for us being on this earth as well. And you know we got first cousins on their side. Ironically, my auntie has children with his brother. So we're double first cousins.
So
Yeah.
was your biological father a younger in age as well
No, he
when
was he
y'all?
was he was older than my mother was. He was older than my mother was. A few like I think like 4 or 5 years older than what she was. She was young, and it was just a lot of tension, a lot of stuff that was going on with the family and everything, and it was just a lot. And my mother, like she said, she didn't even know anything about adoption. She didn't know any of that. All she knew, she was going back and forth to the doctor. She was pregnant, and she went through a very, very hard time. Being pregnant with us and having to give us up, and it was just really hard for her emotionally. But to be back with her now, it's just, she's like on cloud nine. Like, we talk every single day, and every single day it's always something different. It's always a story. Like, one thing she always told us, no matter how uncomfortable it is for her or how painful it is, anything that we want to know, feel free to ask her. She said she will tell us the best that she can. She's not afraid. She owns her truth. She said, yes, I had a baby at 13 and I had a baby at 15 and I had to give them up, but not by choice. And I love my sons, and I'm glad that they're back in my life. And this is nothing shorter than a miracle. This is what God did for us to both be yearning for each other at the same time, and to be reunited. Not even a year. It haven't even been a whole year since my brother found her last year. And now I found her again this year. It's just, it's crazy. It's crazy.
What you're telling people with this story is time. Everything happens in the time that it is meant to happen. You
Right.
can rush it, you can delay it, but it's going to eventually happen. In this instance, something good happened. So always be encouraged out there that because you see something happening right now that is not in the time that you wanted, doesn't mean it's going to happen. It has to happen in the time that is available for you to be accepting of it.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to
Because
preach.
she's tried before too. She said for whatever reason, you know, she dropped the ball. She's tried before, but she said my brother coming back into her life in November of last year forced her to live in her truth and forced her to deal with what, because it's always been suppressed in her. And she said, your brother coming back into my life gave me the courage to find you. And she's like, after he came back in, I told your sisters and I told him, I got to find your older brother now. I got to find your older brother. Y'all got a brother. He's the oldest. He's my firstborn. I got to find him. And my sisters and them, they were all on board. Like, okay, let's find him. This is what we got to do. And they was putting in the request and talking to Indiana Vital Records, doing everything they could. And she was afraid too, because the case, you know, they told her at the Vital Records, it'll be faster if he was trying to find you. The only thing that we can do for you now is to send you out the forms. You fill out the forms, give them back to us. You will go on a registry. We will reach out to him, and then it will be up to him if he wants to have contact with you. She said that scared her because she was like, what if he's mad? What if he's angry? What if, you know, she had a lot of questions, but she was just only hoping that I would reach out to her if they contacted me, and not knowing that I'm already trying to find you as well as you're trying to find me. It was just, man. And I still don't have my birth certificate. If we was waiting on that, we would still be waiting. You know what I'm saying? So I still don't have but we have the DNA, and that's all that matters.
So I can say all three of us are going to provide a ringing endorsement for Ancestry.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I can personally say, man, I'm still meeting relatives to this day. Like I told you earlier, I had someone from Dallas contacting me, but it's so amazing, man, that it's amazing. At the same time, it's kind of discouraging, because when you start doing the research, you start going back to seeing some of the pain and the hurt and other things that cause us to be where we at today. And the further you go back, man, it's joy and pain, to be honest with you. It's joy and pain. Even going back to Africa, it was joy and pain.
What's painful about what was painful about the situation for you?
Many things, man. Many things. First, the unknowing,
right?
Not knowing who my father really was, as well as a young boy and young man, you want to know, you know, what features or what resemblance that you made that similar to your dad. So not knowing that was a void, and that's why I was asking you, how did you feel not having your mother? But once again, if you never really had some, you really
don't know.
Right, you don't know.
Right.
So, the other pain part was just learning the history. All the history wasn't good, but that's what I came from. So that's the joy and pain about it. So just learning the history, and then once again, man, slavery plays a major part of a lot of the things that's going on with us, as well as circumstances, man. You know, as you said, your mother had you at 13 years old. So I can only imagine, can't even imagine how she even felt, man, and all the things that she went through to even have to even deal with that. So when we talk about this, Brother Sean and I was talking about something similar earlier with just that generation of our mothers. They went through a lot, man. A lot happened back then, man. So that generation that we came from, they pretty much, in my opinion, were just survivors. They were just in survivor mode.
Yes.
Taught us how to survive, but as far as leaving major tangible things, most of them didn't, and most of them are still just messed up emotionally and mentally. So much has happened, man.
Right. And it's a lot of healing that needs to take place. I wouldn't say I'm so much hurt. I wouldn't say it's so much a lot. I mean, a lot of hurt took place, of course, but just what we're going through now, what we're experiencing now, getting to know each other, spending time together, planning events together, because we already got Christmas, Thanksgiving, we already got the holidays planned, everything, all of that stuff, that is healing. You understand what I'm saying? Just to be able to be in each other's company, to say this is the first holiday where I have all my children. You know, my sons love me. They're not holding anything against me. They don't hate me. They're very forgiving. I talk to them. I can be able to pick up the phone and have access to them. I don't have to no longer search. If I want to talk to my son right now, I can text, I can call, I can FaceTime. those things are healing. And, you know, I try not to talk about so much of the past. I mean, yeah, of course, there's some things that I want to know. I pretty much feel like I know, you know, all I need to know right now. I don't like to keep bombarding her with questions and having her to keep revisiting pain. As she did say, she is comfortable sharing things with me, but I'm happy that you're here and that you're alive and that you're in front of me and that I can jump on a plane and come see you anytime I want to, that you can come to Atlanta to see me. I'm actually going there this weekend. Just this is gonna be my second time seeing it. Now, mind you, I'm not supposed to be back until Thanksgiving, but you know, flights are cheap to Vegas right now. So I'll say, you know what, let me go hang out with moms this weekend, kick it with the fam for a minute. You know, this is the second time I'm going in the month, and I'll go back again Thanksgiving. I'm gonna go back again Christmas, and eventually we're gonna get her to come here for to Atlanta to stay for a little while. So my thing is this. Hightower asked me a question. By me traveling the world and traveling and doing this, how do you see this affecting your travel? Yes. Not in a bad way, but a lot of things I'm still going to go see a lot of the things in the world that I want to see. But I'm pretty much, let's keep our fingers crossed, pretty much sure that I got a little travel partner now, because my mom definitely has showed interest in coming with me, to some places.
Brother, get that passport and y'all see the world together, man.
Yeah. So she definitely, because I told her, you know, she was excited about all my. She said, "Son, you really travel." As my brother, he's well traveled. You know, he was in the military, so he's well traveled, and she was very excited about my experience to the Holy Land when I went to Jordan, and you know how I went to the River Jordan. Where Christ was baptized, you know, all those different places that we hear about in the Bible. And, you know, her being from the church, she's like, I was like, you know, I'm going back to Israel. And I said, I really want you to come. She's like, I don't have no problem with that. I was like, really? I said, no, you shouldn't have told me that, because I have you all over the globe. I have you everywhere. So, you know, and then she's still young. She's just 61 years old. And like she's still in her good health and her right mind. She's still hip, you know, so it's like, man, we can do a lot of things together. You know what I'm saying? So I have a lot of plans on doing that. Me and my brother, we plan on taking some trips together. My sister Alicia has expressed a sibling meetup where we can meet up in different cities. Just us siblings, you know. We may meet up in New York one time. We may meet up in Houston. We may meet up in Chicago, wherever, you know. So we have a lot of things planned in the store. So I want to focus more on the building memory part as opposed to what happened in the past. I feel like all my questions have already been answered. So there's no sense of keep revisiting things, as I'm sure things may come up as time progresses, but I'm more focused on building the memories and creating the memories. And because of the fact that we spent so much time apart, all I can focus on is spending as much time with her as possible. So yeah, I may be going to Vegas 2 and 3 times a month, as long as them tickets stay $85 round trip. on Spirit Airlines, you know what I'm saying? Just have to download some music, you know, because you know Spirit don't give you nothing, but it'll get you. It'll definitely get you there.
Yes, sir, man. I'm so happy for you, brother, and I want to encourage anybody out there that if you have any missing information in your life, or you feel there's anything out there that you need to find, go to Ancestry, dig into your family history, become whole, because all 3 of us on this right now can attest to the fact that we have found what was missing in our lives, and it has completed us in a way that we never thought possible.
And if I can add this in, when you receive your DNA results back from Ancestry DNA, you're gonna be a little confused, because you can be like, what do I do with this stuff? Who is this person? Who is that person? Don't feel intimidated. Reach out. There's dozens of people that can help. You know, like I said, on the Facebook group, DNA Detectives, if you join that group, it's like 168,000 people that members of that group. If you join that group and request a search angel, somebody would definitely reach out to you that's good at it, that can build you a tree, that know how to do that. Man, this lady, Kathy Manny, she's my angel, and I want to just publicly thank her for everything that she did for me and still doing for my family. Like, just stepped in and she took that thing over, man. She was coming up with pictures. I'm like, where you find that at? She found our father's grave, finding pictures of of him when he was like how did you like she just did this, man. And some people are really skilled at this. They're skilled at researching DNA.
So
you know what I'm saying?
So Wallace, once again, tell the people the name of the Facebook group that has the angel searchers.
DNA Detectives.
DNA Detective.
Yes.
That's on
It's
Facebook.
a group. It's a group.
Yes.
It's a group that's made by CC Moore, CECE Moore. And it's a group that she has called DNA Detectives. It's on Facebook. You can go in that group, join the group, post your story. You won't feel alone because everybody's going through the same thing. They're trying to find somebody. They're trying to help somebody find somebody, or either, you know, we're all in this together, because this can be a very long journey. Because I had a friend that asked me before I even started this journey, are you really ready to go on this road? I'm like, yeah, it has to be done now. If I don't do it now, when I'm gonna do it, you know? And it's gonna get hard. It's gonna get lonely sometimes, but if you stay the course and stick with it, you'll get through it. 3 weeks. That's all it took.
Yours was
3 weeks.
Very quick.
Yeah, mine I think was 2 months or so.
3 weeks. By tracing because I had a first cousin that tested, that we were matching. First thing they're gonna do is they're gonna go from the top. They're gonna try to establish you guys having a great-great-grandparent or a great-grandparent. Once they can establish that, they work from the top all the way down to the bottom. Once she established that she and I were first cousins, which means we share the same grandparent, everything else fell into place. Now all we gotta do is find out who the lady, you know, because you gotta differentiate what the father side is and what the mother side is. So that can be kind of tricky and confusing too, because you're like, okay, it's saying we're cousins, but are we related on my father's side or are we related on my mother's side? So she knew that my family would be from Gary because I was born in Gary, because I kept coming up with a lot of Texas, a lot of people from Haney, Texas, and all these different parts of Texas. And it was just confusing to me because I'm like, this doesn't seem like, so we realized that was my father's side. You know, my mother's side would be from Gary, Indiana, because that's where I was born. So we started finding cousins on that side, my highest match being my first cousin, and everything else fell into place.
Wow. Brother Wallace, man, thank you so much for coming on the Real Man Talk.
Thank you, brother.
And sharing your amazing story with us, man. Thank you.
No problem. Anytime.
And we definitely gotta have you back on.
Yes, we're gonna have you back with some other subject matters. Yes.
I have no problem with that.
All right, brother. Thank you so much, man, for tuning in, man. We'll be seeing you. Sean, you have anything you want to say to him before we let our guests go?
No, nothing at all, brother. Just enjoy your time, embrace it, and just love the moment, man. Love the moment.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much, brother, for coming on. And
thank you again, Hightower. Because like I said, if it wasn't for you in my head and telling me the different steps and the giving me that motivation and seeing your amazing trip that you did back to Sierra Leone, I probably wouldn't have even bothered with it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it would have still just been stuck in here. Like, I wonder who my mother is. I wonder who my family is. And not taking any kind of action. You know, I'd have still been like 60 years old. I wonder who my mother. You know, just like you know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't have took the action steps.
But the key is you took action, man. That's the key.
Yes, take the action.
Now we can't wait until you get those African ancestry results. That's gonna be a whole nother conversation.
Yes, I'm waiting for them. They should be back the first week in November. The father and the mother side. I did both.
I can't wait to hear, man. Woo.
We'll have you back on for that one, brother. I'm ready to hear that one myself.
And the good thing about that, because I can share that with my siblings. It's on the mother's side, you know what I'm saying? Because we all come from the same womb. So I can share that to show them who our people, where our ancestors came from, where we derived from, you know what I'm saying? Our tribes. And the same thing that you did, Hattad. I'm gonna have to talk to you on the outside of the show for that, because there's some questions and things that I have for that, as to, because they'll give you a broad perspective of where you might, but I want to go directly to the source. I don't want to be all over the place, be like, oh, I'm from Cameroon, or I'm from this place, I'm from that place. I want to go directly to where my DNA lies. So I want to talk to you more about that, how I can directly trace back to that as well.
We'll definitely talk. That's what I'm here for. We'll definitely talk about that, brother. Till then, man, have a good day. And you all, thank you once again for tuning into the Real Man Talk Show. Yes. And we want you to continue to tune in. But once again, man, if you're looking for any services, do not hesitate to reach out to us. That's what we do. We're life coaches, man. We love to help people, man, whether it's business, education, depends on what you're looking for, man. We go get you connecting, go get you squared up, but be prepared. Okay, if you really want somebody to work with you, such as myself, be prepared, man, because I don't want to waste your time and I don't want to waste my time. So let's come and let's work together. Let's get to that goddamn goal or whatever we're trying to achieve, man. Let's get it.
Let's get it, brother. Let's get it.
You got anything, Brother Sean, for the people?
Just understand you are who you are. And if people don't accept you for who you are, excuse my language, but fuck them.
I like that. Fuck them.
Fuck them.
Fuck them.
Fuck them. You are who you are. They don't like it. Fuck them.
See y'all next week.
Next week. Tune in, people. Later.